Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fortress of Solitude. Today we're going to be talking about Green Lantern Fractured Spectrum issue 1 by Jeremy Adams, V. Ken Marion and Romulo Fajardo Jr. The next phase of Jeremy Adams' Green Lantern epic begins right here in this special as we head to the Library of Forever, where a little green alien attempts to organize the myriad of tomes and texts stored in the bookshelves. His work is interrupted by Nathan Broom, the Sorrow Lantern, who has come looking for a special type of glass that will allow him to read the mythical Book of Oa. Now it's about time that Nathan has something to do in these books. It feels like ages ago he was turned into the Sorrow Lantern, but we haven't had much of him, and granted that's not thanks to, him just being, pushed to the side. There have been, Green Lantern events, like the Civil Corps, they've been involved in stuff like Absolute Power, so they've had a little thing here and there to deal with before they get to the Sorrow Lantern, but it looks like stuff is now all happening with him. And him wanting the Book of Oa is a good start. That does signal that there'll be more to his story than, something Earth-based where he maybe just fights Hal in, Star City or Central City or Coast City or, one of the many cities doesn't really go to space. But I like that they're actually getting him involved with the Lantern Corps storylines. Speaking of Hal, across the universe, Hal's lunch is interrupted by John Stewart, who tells him that their work on Oa is almost done. Hal speeds back through the galaxy, dodging alien ships and planets and black holes to return to Oa, where he gives Kilowog and the others a little help in transporting the power battery that was once on Earth back to the home of the Green Lantern Corps. Hal's narration is a bit of a jinx here since he believes things aren't so bad right now in the galaxy, and they have defeated Tharos, the United Planets, saved the galaxy, and are restoring the Green Lantern Corps. It's funny because by now Hal should know not to say that sort of stuff since it just invites problems, some of which we'll see in just a few short pages. The Corps, with the help of Jadestone, Kelly and Ellie, secure the lantern back on Oa, connecting it back up and bringing power and life back to the planet. Adams gives us a little bit more foreboding dialogue here again as Jadestone voices concerns over the battery being moved away from the protection of the green on Earth. Which, why would you move it from that sort of protection? And for those who don't know, the Lantern power battery was hidden on Earth and it was being protected by the Green, which is the thing that powers Swamp Thing. And it was being looked after by Jadestone, who is the Amazo robot from Absolute Power who turned into a good guy thanks to the Starheart. It also would have been really cool if the Lantern got to stay on Earth for a little bit longer and maybe the Lantern Corps make Earth their home base for a short amount of time before then moving back to Oa eventually. I think that would have been really quite cool. On top of it now being unguarded, Jadestone says he must stay close to the battery in order to operate, since without the Starheart now in him and back with Alan Scott, he can't leave its presence since it's effectively keeping him alive. Hal believes that moving the battery away from being hidden and guarded is the whole point, as he wants the galaxy to see that the Corps are back and aren't afraid of anything. Again, something totally foolish for Hal Jordan to say, which will no doubt come back to bite him in the ass very soon. With the battery in place, the Lanterns get ready for a special ceremony headed by Jessica Cruz, who is taking up a new role in the Corps thanks to her ability to overcome great fear. While it's not said what her role is, I do like that it's hinted that it's more like an ambassador or liaison with the Guardians. She's wearing similar robes to the Guardians, and I like that she's actually the one who represents the Green Lantern corner of things, as the Guardians have all returned representing each of the Lantern Corps, so there's like a yellow, a blue, a red, and etc. It's a fun new role for Jessica, and I hope Adams does something with it since it could be a good way to get some cool political intrigue stuff into the book like he did during the Tharos United Planets arc. Jessica says that with the United Planets and other Lantern Corps weakened, the Green Lantern Corps will have to step up and work even harder to maintain order throughout the universe, something which I feel like they are really the only Corps that does that, especially since at least 3 of the other Corps are considered villains. On top of the Green Lanterns having to work much harder around the universe, the emotional spectrum has become unstable, meaning new powers have emerged that the Lanterns need to contain quickly before someone misuses them. As if on cue, Nathan, having attacked Guy Gardner elsewhere on the planet, smashes into the building with Guy, infecting him with his sorrow powers and causing Guy to throw himself off a building in a depressed state. Hal and the others intervene, saving Guy, but Nathan escapes with what he came for, the Book of Oa. I'm liking the deployment of Nathan's powers here. They aren't just constructs he's making, but constructs made from misty grey smoke, which makes it hard for the lanterns to see through, kind of like how when you get sad and angry and depressed, there is kind of like a mist around you that you can't really see the good things in life through. I kind of like that idea. Adams also does something really interesting with Guy here, making him greatly important to the plot and to what Sorrow is doing, as Guy reveals that he's actually been researching the Book of Oa in his downtime, keeping tabs on all of the different rewrites and reboots the Guardians have done to the book over the decades. During his research, Guy saw an opportunity to actually read the Book of Oa, and during Tharos' rule, he actually replaced the real Book of Oa with a passable fake, taking the original for himself to continue his research and to keep it safe. Guy reveals that he soon learned that the Eye of Krona, a piece of glass made from source material, revealed that the Book of Oa wasn't just written in one way, but 6 other ways, each representing the different colors of the spectrum, and by using the glass, a user can access these different editions of the Book of Oa. I love new lore additions to the Green Lantern Corps and surrounding Corps like this. It's taking things that already exist, like the Book of Oa, the Eye of Krona, and giving them a new purpose, or in this case, building off pre-established things like the Book of Oa and what it can do. The Guardians believe that the only reason for Nathan to seek the Eye of Krona is because that he wants to gain access to the information that will allow him to build his own power battery, effectively turning his Sorrow Lantern into a legitimate Lantern Corps. The Lanterns reveal that since the Sorrow Lantern is a refraction of light, it not only would spread sorrow and despair throughout the galaxy, but also set off a chain reaction that would fracture the entire color spectrum and splinter the known universe. Thus, the Lanterns have their next big story arc set up as, knowing what Nathan needs to build a power battery, they set out to vow and get the pieces before he can and save the universe from sorrow. Green Lantern Fractured Spectrum issue 1 was a great start to the next Green Lantern story arc. I'd say it's a great jumping on point for new readers as well, as we have new villains who have yet to be fully developed. We've got new powers springing up, the Lanterns are back doing what they do best. You know, it's a great jump on point to a new story. I'm really excited for the Sorrow Lantern, and positioning him as a more universal threat rather than one just used for drama between Carol and Hal is a very smart move, and I can't wait to see more of him. I'm going to give this issue an 8.5 out of 10.